Now, the Christmas holidays provide ample opportunity for anyone who wants to get close to nature to do so. For example, did you know that chimpanzees share up to 98.6% of their genetic makeup with humans? Apart from that, they are also very social animals. Our Sharon Momanyi got to spend a day with a group of chimps right here in Kenya, and now reports on these fascinating relatives of man that are now facing the danger of extinction.
When we drove to the Sweetwater's Chimpanzee Sanctuary within the Pejeta Conservancy in Nanyuki, we were not half prepared for the experience that lay ahead of us. The 250-acre sanctuary that was founded 24 years ago offers home to chimpanzees rescued from traumatic situations.
The chimpanzee we have here, they are rescued chimpanzee and all are orphan, except now we got 5 chimpanzees that are born here. The rest are from Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, Cameroon. In Kenya, we don't have chimpanzee. Chimpanzees are found in Central and West Africa, and part of Uganda and Tanzania, they have chimpanzee naturally. So in countries like Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, there's some people there who kill chimps for meat. So they kill the adult for meat. If they capture those young babies, they sell to people as a pets illegally.
The sanctuary was set up in 1993 after an agreement between the Kenya Wildlife Service, Jane Goodall Institute, and Pejeta Conservancy then. And the vision for the sanctuary is to be a world-leading chimpanzee sanctuary that will provide with high standards of care for the resident chimpanzee population, high standards of education, and high standards of advocacy in terms of the plight of the chimpanzees in the wild.
Currently, there are a total of 35 chimps at the sanctuary, each of them with a story of salvation from cruelty and trauma, the kind of endangered lives that chimpanzees throughout East, West, and Central Africa live.
Our mission, which is to provide refuge for chimpanzees that have been orphaned, provide refuge for chimpanzees that have survived the bushmeat trade, chimpanzees that have been confiscated by the government. Let's say, for instance, if they are in transit for other countries, especially the Asian countries, to be put in circuses, and also to provide a refuge for those chimpanzees that have been orphaned as a result of civil war.
4-year-old Mano is a happy little chimp. No one can steal his joy now as he plays around and flaunts his gymnastic skills. But Mano's joy has only been as long as his 1-year stay at this sanctuary. Most of his young life was shackled in abuse and trauma.
He has a long history. He was smuggled from Syria, Damascus, all the way into Iraq, Kurdistan, the northern part of Iraq, into a zoo, the Duhok Zoo. And he was put in a small cage there. He was being used as a prop for visitors, and he was given all kinds of bad things like cigarettes and fake juices just to have visitors see him and pay money for him.
Manu, here.
In 2016, an international outcry by well-wishers and conservationists would see an end to his life as a spectacle and a smoker.
The people in Iraq and animal welfare organizations approached the Kenya Wildlife Service, they approached Pejeta Conservancy, and eventually the necessary permits were acquired through the Director of Veterinary Services Kenya and the Kenya Wildlife Service. We were able to bring Mano here. So then it's been a good life for him. You can see him, he's happy, he's jumping around, he's been adopted by the other females, and then we can only wish him the best.
Before joining the other chimpanzees, Mano had to remain in quarantine for a while to ensure he did not have any diseases that could be transmitted to the reserve's other residents. And now, the youngest chimp in the camp is well at home.
Eventually, we got him out of quarantine and started integrating him. And I'm glad to say that he has been fully integrated. The integration took 6 months, and it has been devoid of drama and negative aggression. So then I think that's mostly because of his tender age. Being 4 years old, he was quickly accepted by the females and eventually by the males.
While Mano plays around happy, showing no signs of depression or lasting impacts of his past abuses, some of the other chimps have had to live with the marks of their unhappy past.
Hey, Poco. Hi. It's so nice to meet you. Tell me a story. Huh? It's nice to meet me too. I know.
37-year-old Poco is the oldest in the camp. He's also the only one here who can walk on his toes. This seems impressive until we learned that this is a deformity resulting from years of being caged.
Poco used to live in somebody's house as a pet, but when he's grown up, he could not be handled. So he was caged in a small, tiny, narrow cage. He could only sit and stand for 9 years. So
how did he find his way here?
Poco, there's a lady by the name Dr. Jane Goodall. She's the founder of this project. So Dr. Jane Goodall was rescuing all those chimpanzees that were living in people's houses in Rwanda, Burundi, Congo, and keep them in her institute in Bujumbura, Burundi, to be looked after. Her main aim was to rehabilitate them and take them back to their natural habitat. But when the civil war broke out in Burundi in 1994, all those chimpanzees that were living in Dr. Jane Goodall's house has to be evacuated. So Poco was one of those first to be evacuated in Burundi in 1995. They were brought here. The second group of 10, they arrived in 1996. They were put on the other side. So we've been rescuing 1, 2, that the number is growing up.
Bushmeat and pet trade is common in Rwanda, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, and chimps routinely find themselves on the menu.
People stay with the chimpanzee when they're young as a pets, but chimps, when they're grown up from 7 years and above, you cannot handle them, because one chimpanzee has 4 times the strength of a man of the same age. So when they reach to that point, people in Congo and Rwanda, they might either cage them somewhere or chain them.
Some beliefs among communities and demands for use of chimpanzees in circuses in Asian countries further promote the illegal trade.
See, some people in Congo and Rwanda, they go like their own traditional belief. There's some people that believe that if they cut a hand or a finger from chimps, that part of hand, they boil it with water. From that water, they birth a new baby born. People that believe that that baby will get a wisdom of a chimpanzee. And if the hand was for the gorilla, they believe that the baby will get a strength of a gorilla.
For lunch today, I'm going to give them 4 bananas each.
At the sanctuary, feeding time is such a well-choreographed affair. First, the meal is planned equally for all the chimps.
I'm going to give each 4 bananas, 2 oranges.
The chimps march up to the holding area to eat. No need to be reminded that it's time to eat. But some of them, like Mwanzo, can be mischievous.
No, where? Mwanzo.
Jumping in for others' shares.
So chimpanzees are classified as omnivores in the wild, whereby they will feed on fruits, vegetables, and occasionally they will hunt small animals, small mammals, when they're doing gathering and hunting, such that then what we have in the sanctuary here, we don't give them any meat products, we don't give them any carnivorous diet. We keep them on a diet that is strictly fruits and vegetables. So we would classify them, we would classify the chimpanzees here as frugivorous. Fruits, bananas, oranges, pineapples, pawpaw, and the fruits are given according to season, the availability. We also give vegetables, spinach, kale, sukuma wiki, cabbages, give potatoes, feed them beans, some protein. We also give them eggs, groundnuts, and then they have freedom in the enclosure to hunt if they want, but of course there's not a lot that they hunt on. And then they will eat on berries, the natural wild berries.
A close look at the chimps' behavior draws such similarity to human beings, like how they eat. It's no wonder that chimps share an estimated 98.6% of their genetic makeup with humans.
Chimpanzees, their natural habitat, they spend the night on top of the tree, they twist branches, they make nests. But the chimpanzees we have here, this is their first time to be in the forest and they knew nothing. Because they learn from their parents or watching others. But those skill of surviving the world, they did not get. So like here, they cannot spend the night outside. Like this group of 20, this is their holding facility. They go there for the night. Also, we feed them there 3 times a day. And the other family has another building on the other side. But chimps, they never intermarry or interbreed. When the female mature from the group they are born in, they move and migrate to another families. But male remain to the group they were born in. Then in the group they have the leader, they have the alpha male or the dominant male. The alpha male is always in charge of that group, but male keep on fighting for that ranking.
It costs us around $4,500 to take care of one chimpanzee per year. So you can see that it's very, very, very costly, because then you need to look at their welfare, chimpanzee welfare and healthcare, which is very important. We're also looking at the chimpanzee security, the fence infrastructure that you've seen, to be able to secure them in that environment, so to avoid conflict, human-wildlife conflict. You're also looking at advocacy, and you're looking at education.
Some quick facts about chimpanzees. Chimps are 98.6% humans. They are great apes and not monkeys. Wild chimpanzees are only found in Africa, with just 5 countries that still have significant populations. That is Gabon, Central African Republic, Republic of the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Cameroon. No one knows exactly how many chimps are left in the wild, but the population is estimated to be about 150,000 to 250,000. The gestation period for chimpanzees is 8 months. The biggest call now is to curb commercial hunting of chimpanzees and to protect their natural habitat. These illegal practices have seen the mammals completely disappear from 4 African countries.
The problem is not as easy to curb. It's just like the rhino poaching issues and also the elephant poaching issues. But then with continuous efforts and collaboration with relevant stakeholders, the government also being part of it, then I'm sure that, we are hopeful and believe that by the years we are going to be able to reduce the extent to which this is happening. But then it's all being brought about by the pressures of the world, population increase and demand for more space, and then demand for also wild animal products.
Spending a day at the Sweetwater's Chimpanzee Sanctuary at Pejeta is such an edifying experience, from hanging out with the youngest chimp, Mano, to the oldest one, Poco, and all the 35 of them that are here, and all of them really having different stories. Very edifying indeed, and also making you appreciate the need for more efforts to be put to reduce and curb the dangers that face the existence of the chimps. Sharon Momanyi, KTN News, at the Sweetwater's Chimpanzee Sanctuary at Pejeta, Nanyuki.